All right, hey everybody, this is Perry. It's time for another Video Coach on Demand. I am so excited about this one, celebrating the release of the movie Inside Out. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's one we should all see, and the bottom line is because of what's going on with the brain. Some things we now know.
We are learning more now about the brain than at any other time in history. How it's put together and how it operates.
And that's what I like about the movie Inside Out, is it's talking about emotions. I mean, we actually have emotions for the first time being pushed mainstream. So what we've done for today's lesson objective, let's stay on focus, is I have 7 here. I have actually 7 different, these are lessons that the movie brings out so eloquently that we actually use in class. So, let's look at the lesson objective here. To promote emotional skills. Again, we're talking about the gooey stuff, but we're doing it from an instructional standpoint. This is about emotions. This is not inspiration. We're talking about skills, being smart, learning to become smart about emotions, okay? The movie Inside Out illustrates key ideas that we use in lessons that we teach. Again, there's 7 of them. I'm going to give those to you today. When creating the movie, the scriptwriter selectively chose 5 emotions. All right, here they are. Joy, sadness, disgust, fear, anger. Just 5. I mean, psychology teaches there's over 200, right? But wow, the scriptwriters in creating this movie did an excellent job in choosing 5. And with each emotion, they created characters that are so clever. As the story unfolds, what we see is how each emotion can affect and change behavior. Not only our own behavior, but we can see now how any one of these 5 emotions in other people changes behavior. And the movie does that so very, very well. Good entertainment? Yes. Educational value, bringing awareness to the reality of emotions, is outstanding. I mean, literally outstanding. You got to love the first one here that we're going to look at, which is on fear. What we'll do is we'll take a look at each one of the 7. But each movie will reference first, which is kind of keep the entertainment value here for us. So what we're going to do is look at fear, something we all have.
Ever wonder why you feel the way you do? We'll get to know your emotions.
Again, I love that.
When the unexpected is staring you in the face, fear is there to keep you safe.
Okay, that's a classic. I mean, we need to understand that. A lot of times we have a misconception of fear. But the bottom line to it is that's an emotion that has a purpose and a place.
With speed and wisdom, fear assesses the situation and settles your nerves in his own special way. He's got this. Thank you, fear. Get to know all your emotions with Disney Pixar's Inside Out, rated PG.
I'm Bill Hader, and I play Fear in Disney Pixar's Inside Out. I know what you're thinking. Who wants to be afraid all the time? But fear isn't just about screaming so hard you pass out.
All right, that's a classic lead in there right there. Classic lead in. Let's look at what we talk about in the class here when we get into mental and emotional training. First of all, fear is a primitive emotion. It's called primal. So you've got it, all right? All have it. You have it. We have it. Your kids have it. Your worst enemy has it. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you're human, this thing exists inside of you. You can't avoid it. And expect the unexpected. It's going to come when you least expect it. That's what we now know. That's what some of the new science is teaching us, okay? And the second thing is it's a good thing. You heard some of the lines there about fear being having wisdom and making its decision, okay? So like all emotions, each has a purpose. All right, let's go to another video clip real quick. I'm going to go to the Sandman, and we're going to see if we can actually pull out a clip from this little montage that we created, and it talks about the brain and what we can now see for the first time like never before. Let me see if I can zoom this in here.
Using new imaging technology, scientists have demonstrated that emotions have a physical place in the brain. Even emotions that are disturbing, like anger or fear, have their purpose.
All right, did you catch that? I mean, that is so critical right there. I don't need to get into all of it, but that's one of the things we need to know and we need to recognize here on out, is that fear has a purpose. And when it comes to athletes or any other high performance occupation, that's the choke. Again, we talk to coaches all the time that the athletes prepare thousands and thousands of hours in the gym, but when they or in practice, but when they get into that high pressure moment, they choke. And we now understand it's that primal emotion that we need to take captive. So one good lesson there, again, fear. Another one is joy. The second lesson here, again, you see the pretty little lady here with the blue hair, right? That's Miss Joy. So many good things to pay attention to on this one. I don't have a video. You just need to go watch the movie and see how the character for Joy is the main character when it comes to all of these emotions. Again, the main character, so important. It's a daily thing, and it's a daily thing for you. No one can give it to you. You have to find it. You know, there's a lot to learn about the emotion of joy and why it's so important. Here's the definition. A feeling of great pleasure and happiness. So again, so we know about feelings. You know, the one thing I would pass on to you right now is if we would go to the T model. I've introduced this to you a couple of times. You know, it's real simple. It's T equals, and you gotta have the equal sign. It's very important. E as in emotion equals, and you gotta have that equal sign there again, and then A. Okay, thoughts equal emotions equal action. So joy is an emotion. So this equal sign comes into play that it's created from your thoughts. Okay, so your thoughts are what we call chatter, which is one of the lesson points here. You have to have the right chatter to keep your joy. And that's something we have to transfer to you. You need to recognize that. Young people need to recognize that. So when it comes to your joy, you need to nourish and fight. That's one of our lesson plans. Let me say it again. Nourish. You have to nourish your joy. And you do it in your chatter, with your thoughts every day. And you have to fight, because somebody's going to try to take it from you. Okay? Somebody's going to put a stake right through your heart. They're going to try. Folks don't have their own joy. They're going to try to steal yours. You must do this in your chatter daily, and others will try to steal your joy. You know, and sometimes they're close to us, sometimes they're not, sometimes they don't realize they're doing it. Don't struggle on that. Just keep your joy, okay? By definition, again, it's a feeling, and we understand feelings now. Again, that's what this is all about. Emotions, feelings, okay? All right, number 3, moving right along, going into what we call the core. In the movie illustrates this special place called the core. Again, you've got to see the movie to really appreciate it, but you have one, okay? Another motive to go see the movie. And when it gets to the part on the core and how sensitive, I mean, joy in the movie really goes to protect this core. And sadness is the threat of touching the core. It's an excellent illustration. Again, sadness, or the character, would threaten to touch the core. And you have the same threat for you, okay? A lot of these other emotions could affect your core. Now, you don't understand, nor do I have time, on how all this works, but just consider conditioning for a minute. But you've got to get a grip on this, okay? This thing called core and this thing called sadness in its true, proper place, all right? Sadness as an emotion has its time and has its place, and the same season for you. But if it touches the core, man, we really got something really bad happening there. So let's go to youth, and I'm going to pull up another one of my montage videos here, and I want to try to get it in here where we've got some
cortex, what we call executive function, self-control, the ability to literally have responsibility for oneself. It's been rewired so that behavior is now focused.
Because it was the first time really in all of human history that we've been able to peek inside the brain during desire.
Oh,
what I do know is that
man,
because you were born
See, so that was so critical right there. For the first time in history, we've been able to see the brain. I mean, that's really all you need to take away. But man, for those of us that are creating learning material and content, that's so valuable, because now we can teach this. So valuable. All right, going on to the 4th here. You're doing a wonderful job. We're almost halfway. Another key point that comes out in the movie Inside Out is the ask yourself line. I mean, this is in the trailer. Let's go ahead and play the trailer first. You've done this. I mean, we've all done this, right? I mean, this is a classic example. Here we go. Check it out.
So, how was the first day of school?
It was fine, I guess. I don't know. Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Boom!
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong.
We're gonna find out what's happening, but we'll need support.
All right. Again, ask yourself. Now, and again, this is the chatter. All right. Ironically, what they're saying is what we're thinking, but these are the emotions. Again, you got the T, which is what they're saying, what we're thinking, and then the emotions, two different agendas, is driving the conversation. So you have to ask yourself, all right, both things. First, it's in the me world, right? First, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And then when you're looking at other people, you do the same thing. And we teach that as a skill, right? It's a skill of self-awareness when you're looking at it inside from yourself. But when you're asking, okay, what are other people thinking? It's self-awareness in the social domain, okay? We teach both agendas. I think we actually have an EWOT, another one of our educational attempts to teach emotional workout of the day. But basically the idea is that you ask, what am I thinking first? And the second is, what am I feeling? And you ask that second. Then you kind of flip that. What are they thinking? And then what are they feeling? Again, recognizing the fact that we're emotional creatures. So a lot of the times it's the feeling thing that's driving our behavior. Again, go back to the TEA, right? What you have down here is you've got E, emotions, driving or equaling action, which is behavior. Okay, very simple model there. All right, number 5, you're doing an excellent job. Again, this is, chatter is one of my ideas. It came out in the book. This movie is all about the chatter. Again, we can go to number 24 here. Let's let this thing keep going.
Signal the husband.
Here we go. Boom. Okay. He's not really trying to do anything, but what we're about ready to see right here. Boom. Here's chatter. This is chatter. Okay? You've got words and mental pictures.
He's looking at us.
There's the words in the mental pictures just flashing. Okay? Again, what they're saying is what we're kind of thinking. And then these are the emotions. So again, what you're seeing is just a wonderful illustration of all of these three working together. Okay? But when we teach it, you've got to learn to isolate it.
What did she say?
What? Oh, sorry, sir. No one was listening.
Is it garbage night? We left the toilet seat up. What? What is it, woman?
Chatter.
What?
Signal him again.
Here we go. Nonverbal communication.
So, Riley, how was school?
All right, yeah. Okay, so, again, stay on point here, chatter. Words and mental pictures randomly flashing. Okay, that's what we teach chatter is. You just saw that. This movie did an excellent illustration. The characters watching a screen, right? I mean, they're watching a soccer scene there. Excellent illustration of connecting thoughts and emotions, right? There's two separate agendas when we teach it. You need to understand there's two thoughts or two agendas, one thinking, the other's feeling. And then you need to teach this to the young people. They need to understand that they're responsible for all three. A lot of times we just get stuck on the action. But now we know more, again, the new science of where emotions, very, very important. That's the new business. And then thoughts and how they all relate. Again, 3 different agendas here. A couple of different agendas. Okay? Again, teaches a very elementary view. When I say elementary, I'm talking milk and cookie here, on what self-awareness is and being aware of your emotions. I mean, that's how that header, that's how one of the trailers open. All right? Okay, 2 more. You're doing a wonderful job. Emotional maturity. All right, 115 in the trailer. I mean, this kind of sums it up. You experience this with an employee. You experience this with any kind of a difficult person in a lot of different areas. Let's take a look at this.
All right.
What was that? I thought you said we were gonna act casual.
Riley, is everything okay?
Sir, she just rolled her eyes at us.
All right, make a show of force. I don't want to have to put the foot down.
No, not the foot.
Riley, I do not like this new attitude.
Oh, I'll show you attitude, old man.
No. This is excellent. Again, the way...
Just leave me alone.
The way the scriptwriters and the directors and producers of the movie are letting us see each of the behaviors of the character, but at the same, again, the action, the A, but at the same time, we're seeing the emotion that's flaring up, the E, and we're also hearing what they're thinking, which is the thoughts, the T. So this is just, again, I'm very excited about all of this as an educational tool. Can you get my drift, brother?
Oh, sir, reporting high levels of sass.
Take it to DEFCON 2.
DEFCON 2.
I don't know where this disrespectful attitude came from.
You want a piece of this, Pops?
Yeah, well, look.
Prepare the foot.
Keys to safety position. Ready to launch on your command, sir.
Just shut up!
Boom.
Fire! That's it. Go to your room.
The foot is down. The foot is down.
All right. That moment right there is what we call the hijack. Okay. Couple of things we're going to point out just briefly on emotional maturity. This is one of my brands. This is what we teach. The idea about, again, maturity. Emotions are contagious. That's what you've got to understand. And when you're in a situation with a difficult person, whether it's your kid, an employee, a friend, a customer, it doesn't matter. Mirror neurons. Mirror neurons. That's what Dr. Goleman, psychology, neuroscience teach. It's contagious. You'll feel what the other person is feeling. That means you'll catch it. Okay, you can study this as long as it's hard, but just take for granted it's real. You'll feel it. You ever walk away from a conversation, an ugly conversation, and just kind of feel yuck? Because you'll feel those emotions. Now, what we saw here was the child and the adult relationship. What we're hoping is the adult remains rational, or what we call mature, not getting hijacked by their emotions. Again, parents are hijacked by their kids all the time. I'm not going there, but you see it. And that's this. That's what we call it, emotional maturity. Again, immaturity, kind of a twist here. Again, you got mature behaviors, but we also have immature behaviors. One general way of talking about it is childlike behavior in adults. That's where adults are getting hijacked emotionally, and they're not handling it well, right? There's a lack of understanding of emotions, which is why we're so excited to have this kind of a flick come out, right? Okay, the last one, very, very important when it comes to development. That's emotional maps. I mean, you've already kind of heard it a couple of times. Let me pull up some video here. We're going to look at Sandman in 2 minutes. Basically, again, this idea that you can map emotions.
For most people, awareness of a feeling follows just milliseconds after an emotion is created. Using new imaging technologies, scientists have demonstrated that emotions have a physical place in the brain. Even emotions that are disturbing, like anger or fear, have their purpose.
All right, so that's where the whole idea of being smart about your emotions comes into play, right? If you're not being wise and using all of this information that you're gathering about emotions, well, then you're just hijacked all the time. All right, that's a wrap. Again, emotional maturity, celebrating the new release of Inside Out. This is PT, signing off. God bless.
I'm a highly emotional man. I'm quick to tears and I'm quick to praise. Anyone who tries to hide their emotions makes a mistake.